I'm gonna move on with the Sumeru Archon quest because I want to see what happens. Check the situation outside the village chief's house. Oh god. Oh god. Why are the Rift Towns here?
Oh, Candace, you're still fighting? You've been out here dealing with these creatures the entire time?
Despite everybody standing out in the open and staring at each other awkwardly.
Yes. They just keep coming in waves. I've lost count of how many I've defeated. Before I realized it, even the sandstorm had stopped.
Her stamina is something else. Higher or lower, but considering the fact that the Not Long update came out and for some odd reason everyone's stamina was increased by default, I'd say lower.
Here comes another wave!
Yes.
Leave this round to us. I got interrupted earlier, but now I have something to take my anger out on.
Now I know how I feel. When I took my anger out on something, it was different.
It's been quite a while since I've seen the Flame Mane in action. I'll leave these to you then.
The Flame Lioness.
I'll be sure to put on a good show. Let's go!
I'll be sure to actually do something. Do we actually get to use her? No, we don't. But we get status effect. Dang it, dang it. Dang
A
it.
sight to behold.
Get over here.
Right now. Steady as stone. Shadows of fate, written in the stars.
Oh yeah.
Right here. Right now.
Get. Oh yeah.
Right here.
Come on.
Delve into destiny.
Keep getting bloom. Hyper bloom. Get that big elemental reaction going. Oh yeah. That's how it's done.
Let me scry.
Oop. Let me scream.
Here comes another wave.
Why are they coming?
I'm gonna let up.
And they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming, and I gotta heal up because I have the bleeding status effect.
A few moments later.
Alright, there we go.
Delve
I ain't done
into
with you.
destiny. Right now. Right here.
Back.
I must leave no stone unturned. Fate is upon you.
Oh yeah. Hyper bloom.
Right now. Emerge.
Come on.
Right here.
Here comes the Aladdin music again.
Come on out. Emerge. Right now. Scatter.
Boom.
Spring forth.
I don't think you're shattering anything by throwing seed pods at them. Right? Oop.
The creature stopped appearing. Was that the last of them?
Probably not, but we'll see.
What we fought just now was probably the aftermath of the sandstorm. So we should be safe for the time being.
Really? I went through so many sandstorms when I was doing teleport hopping with Patrick the other day, and I didn't see them. But oddly enough, they seem to show up here.
Well fought, everyone. No injuries, I hope.
Right, mysterious character walks in for no reason. As if we haven't seen that happen before!
Huh? Who are you?
A random person.
Ah, my apologies. I haven't had a chance to greet you yet. I had my hands full taking care of the village's elderly and children.
God, you're like a reskinned older guy from like every other village I've been to, but except with a darker color.
I am the chief of AURU village. Everyone usually calls me Uncle Anpu.
Uh-huh, sorry for the trouble.
Sir, I am also originally from the desert, but I have not been back for some time now. May I ask if such sandstorms are common?
What if she says, no, you may not? Actually, I'll answer it anyways.
I can't say they've always been common, but recently the storms have become increasingly severe. Besides sandstorms, we also occasionally get earthquakes. According to an investigator who stayed in the village a while ago, these unusual natural phenomena are related to the withering of Irminsul.
Why? Okay, like, here's the thing. If we got Rift Towns as a result of the withering, then how come it didn't affect Inazuma before? Because we saw Rift Towns in Inazuma, so shouldn't there be withering in Inazuma? But no, it somehow only affects Sumeru.
Irminsul's withering.
Yeah, I wonder why Inazuma's not being brought up.
So, Irminsul's withering causes withering zones in the forest, and sandstorms and earthquakes here in the desert?
Everything in the natural world is inextricably connected to Irminsul. These regional symptoms can indeed be a reflection of Irminsul's present state.
Everyone in AURU village needs to take good care of themselves.
Yes. So what?
Speaking of which, why haven't I seen a single village keeper since I got here?
Speaking of, why is there barely anyone around here?
Village keeper? Who are they?
Does your curiosity know no bounds? Village Keeper is how AURU village refers to mad scholars, exiled here by the academia.
So, why would they be here? It's like a hiding place or something?
Most of them are scholars who lost their sanity after a period of training in the Avidia forest.
Oh god, like Hypatia? Where she lost her sanity, and basically AURU village has become a dumping ground for the saneless.
The academia believes that their crazed mutterings may have a negative effect on the psyches of other scholars. So, they're forcibly exiled to the desert. Though if you ask me, it's all a boatload of nonsense.
Basically, the desert has become a dumping ground toilet for those who lose their mind. This is what drugs do to people. Yeah. This is basically a product of the 90s right here. I feel like if I was to look at this from a Game of Thrones perspective, the desert has become sort of like a Castle Black and the Great Wall. Basically just a dumping ground for undesirables.
Alas, that's exactly what we've been trying to investigate. One by one, the village keepers have been mysteriously disappearing without a trace.
Also, to touch on the idea of, like, scholars who lose their mind, what do you expect when you see the face of God or something similar to it?
But no one in the village has ever seen them leave. If you're planning to stay around the village for the next few days, I'd appreciate it if you could keep an eye out for them.
I've had encounters with those people in the past.
The Matra are the ones responsible for their exile. Now that you're no longer with them, are you trying to alleviate your guilt and atone for your past sins? I'm fascinated by how you think.
Are you not also doing the same, considering the fact that you're out here as well? Or are you under orders from the academia to keep an eye on everyone?
Mock me if you will, but if you are guilty, I will eliminate you. Regardless of my position or identity.
You screw around with me, I find your guilt, I kill you on the spot!
Oh, you're the former General Mahamatra. You must be an expert in these kinds of investigations. Thank you for your help.
Okay.
Is it because you're reminded of Hypatia? Oh, these poor scholars. First they lose their sanity, now this! We need to help get them back home, safe and sound.
And what about the Ayn Rand fanatic? Are you gonna think about that person who also lost his mind? Also the idea of anybody who looks at that God capsule knowledge thing. I really wonder, how are we gonna get through that without going insane?
But, is it really a good idea to tag along with CYNO? You seem like you really don't trust him.
Yes, because whatever character I tag along at, even as a trial character, for some odd reason, they have higher specs than my normal character.
I'll be grateful for the assistance. Let's start by finding a spot to share what we know so far.
Let's start by going around places. Oh my god, that tree in the
sent
foreground.
myself into exile, I'm still doing essentially the same things as before.
I don't change. Don't be surprised.
Do you still have any questions for me before we start our investigation?
Yes. Are you in any way related to all the characters from Yu-Gi-Oh? Simply because you have an Egyptian sort of motif going on.
One of my former subordinates told me that this title has its origins in a strange incident.
Really? How many origins in a strange incident have I ever heard before?
The academia has long exiled mad scholars to AURU village. A mysterious phenomenon exists here.
Uh-huh. Are you gonna be the Jon Snow of Castle Black in the Game of Thrones scenario similar to Dumping Ground for here?
When mad scholars first arrive, they are as incoherent and deranged as before. But after spending some time here, they invariably begin to calm down.
Why? You know what? There's a story I have where I tried to do like a 6-hour Japanese language final exam, and I thought I was gonna lose it. So I'm pretty sure, like, any type of academic work is gonna make some people lose it at some point, so why should you be surprised?
Initially, the people of AURU village greatly resented having to take in the mad scholars. But a strange incident one night changed that.
You should come and see this cliche.
AURU village was struck by the strongest earthquake in living memory. Seeing buildings on the verge of collapse all around him, the then chief of the village was preparing to take everyone to safety.
Are there any collapsed buildings around here?
Suddenly, he noticed a mad scholar crouching in a corner, caressing the ground with his hands. A soft, green light radiated from him, like a divine glow against the backdrop of night. Despite the powerful tremors that ripped through the ground that night, all the houses remained upright, almost as if they had grown roots reaching deep into the ground. In the end, not a single building collapsed, and no one was hurt. After that, the people of AURU village treated the mad scholars with greater kindness, and began to refer to them as the village keepers.
Because for some odd reason they had their usage, despite, like, being insane from time to time. Okay. I actually hear the auto. Because for some odd reason, whatever they brought from the Academia actually helped? I don't know.
The soft green light? A mad scholar protecting AURU village? What do you make of it, Traveler?
Nahita's power, but only she could be capable of that. But how could they take some of her power?
I would think so too. Actually, Cyno, do you know if any of the mad scholars continued to wear their Akasha terminals at AURU village?
In theory, they would continue wearing them so the Academia could still monitor their activities. With that said, the main Akasha system would no longer have any interaction with them.
So they take it off?
Oh, no wonder! Everything makes sense then! Add in the fact that they calmed down, it was probably Nahita who calmed them.
Maybe, but at the same time, like, she would have been, I don't know. She would have been dealing with so many people from Samara. How could she keep track with people like this?
If you are able to draw a conclusion from this one story alone, then it appears you possess much more information than I do.
Uh-huh.
So, what do you make of the story?
I don't know, maybe the Mad Scholars being possessed by Nahita, trying to calm down. The Mad Scholars being possessed by Nahita would emit some sort of power that would calm the earthquake. Or, I don't know, I thought maybe the Mad Scholars knew something about Nahita and would do something about the power. Anyways, maybe Mad Scholars likely came from Lesser Lord Kusanali. Lesser Lord... Why did I say Lord? Lesser Lord Kusanali was actually the one who protected the village.
Really? Lesser Lord Kusanali.
So is the person who, looked up to the Greater Lord?
What? You don't believe us? Lesser Lord Kusanali was...
No, it's not so much that I don't believe you. I'm just struck by your reasoning.
Yeah, well, what kind of reasoning have you heard before that caused you to be surprised by what we just said?
Lesser Lord Kusanali, the current Dendro Archon. Is she really active in Sumeru?
Yes, and now imprisoned in a sanctuary, and we gotta somehow rescue her at the end of all that. And if she wasn't active now, why would you, if she was active before, what made you think she wasn't active at all?
The Academia has always placed far greater importance on the late Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. They've more or less ignored Lesser Lord Kusanali, and I've never had any reason to doubt their views.
Almost like how, like a parent of a child is hold at a greater stance than the said child himself, while overlooking the potential of said child to outperform said parent.
In addition, I've never heard any stories about Lesser Lord Kusanali and her deeds. To me, she might as well have been a god that never existed.
I just focus on the famous parent and never think about the child. Who cares?
No way! Nahida definitely exists! She's a... How should Paimon put it? She's a good Archon who's kind and wise. Even if she says weird stuff sometimes.
Even though she's a frickin' green fairy child that somehow resided in everyone's dreams and helped us escape a never-ending samsara that would have probably caused us to go insane in the first place, and now she's locked up.
I've spent many years interrogating criminals, so I can easily tell when someone is lying.
Prove it!
Good! Then you should know that we're telling the truth.
That look in your eyes. I've never seen that from a liar. You two really must have met Lesser Lord Kusanali.
Oh god, it's almost like a Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild Zelda reference. That look in your eyes! You must be a mad person!
How can this be?
To
To think, our Archon has been amongst us this entire time.
Maybe your reasoning is that you looked up to the Academia as a general of the Matra who took orders from them and constantly looked at the greater lord. So far you've overlooked the lesser lord Kusanali and think, gee, this younger person's not gonna do a thing. Huh, they have done a thing.
Alright, now it's our turn to put our skills to good use for this, but easier said than done. Especially since we don't have any leads. Maybe we can start by knocking on some doors.
What if there are no doors? What if our leads don't involve doors?
Excuse me, are you here to help me find my grandpa?
What makes you think we're here to help you find your grandpa?
Huh? Who are you?
Oh god.
By the sounds of it, a resident of this village.
Why would you think anyone outside is gonna help you find your grandpa?
My name is Isa. You'll help me find my grandpa, right?
Why? How do you know? What does your grandpa do? What does your grandpa look like? What does he work as?
Is your grandpa a mad scholar?
Okay, I should have put two and two together. People have gone missing, mad scholars. His grandpa's gone missing, so I should have connected him as a mad scholar.
Hey, don't say that. Grandpa is just Grandpa. Why do you have to call him that? It's not like he's a bad person or anything.
I never said he was a bad person. I just said he lost his damn mind.
The person you're referring to is not a local. Yet you are. Why do you call him Grandpa?
Is this sort of like the logic you gave me, Patrick, in Leeway, where uncle is sort of like people who are not related but sort of familiar? Is this the same logic here, or is it a completely different story?
Grandpa is just Grandpa. He's my family.
So, it's literal, not figurative. It's not the same thing. You'll see. Oh, God.
I heard everything you said to the village chief. Please, you gotta take me with you. I want to find my grandpa. I swear I'll help. I won't be a nuisance.
I am automatically suspicious of you simply because you literally came out of nowhere and offered help without me having to ask. And the fact that you said I won't be a nuisance makes me suspicious of you.
Ah, so you're the one who was eavesdropping on us around the village chief's house. I was planning to go out and take care of whoever it was, but I had a vague feeling that they didn't harbor any ill intent.
You could have had help from anybody else, especially CYNO or maybe Dea, but you had to rely on the Traveler.
Whoa. Hazen wasn't kidding about Matra having sharp senses. CYNO, he's just a kid. All he wants is to find his grandpa. Let's find a way to help him.
Is it a good idea?
Sorry. I was only listening in because I wanted to know where Grandpa went. Honest. If you don't believe me, you can ask Miss Candace.
Why couldn't you ask Candace in the first place, considering the fact that she's probably a lot stronger?
Alright. But first, Let's confirm the facts with Candace.
This kid might be lying. But what if he isn't? Is this kid gonna backstab me? He is reproached on ass to psych to weep nearby.
Cyno is super vigilant. Is this what all the Matra are like?
Maybe, but I don't know. Does a dream example count? No. I don't know.
You're back already.
Yes, we are.
We just wanted to confirm something with you.
I had a feeling he'd go looking for you.
And yet you didn't give me the heads up.
Huh? You knew this would happen?
And you didn't say anything before.
Yes. Although he tried his best to stay hidden, I still noticed him eavesdropping outside the window. He really wants to get his grandfather back.
Why?
Isak's parents were both Eremite mercenaries who rarely returned to the village after finding employment in the city. He was raised by his grandfather. Unfortunately, later.
Oops. Fortunately, grandfather... Years before his grandpa passed away, Isak was still very young, so his parents' care scholar... When an elderly mad scholar arrived at the village, he thought that the scarlet bore a striking resemblance to his grandfather, and thus ought to spot in the man. So his grandfather actually... His real grandfather died, and he's looking for somebody else?
However, the scholar was unkempt in appearance and incoherent in speech. Although Isak referred to the man as his grandpa, he was afraid and didn't dare to approach him.
Okay, so his grandpa wasn't a mad scholar, just somebody who resembled. So...
One summer night, the oft mumbling and bumbling grandpa suddenly calmed down and seemed to become more lucid. He even noticed Isak hiding in the distance. So Grandpa walked up to Isak and patted him on the head. He even took Isak to the entrance of the next morning. Isak woke up and wanted to go find his grandpa again, only to realize his grandpa no longer recognized him. However, even so, Grandpa retained his calm expression. It's said that those who saw the scholar claimed he no longer appeared to be crazy, but appeared to be living in his own world, almost as if he were sleepwalking.
Like Hypatia during the rituals, except here, was he near incense? If not, then why would he still be sleepwalking?
Isak was thrilled that his grandpa was able to find peace, and would follow him all the time, asking him things like, "Grandpa, want me to take you somewhere fun?" or...
All this somehow just makes Paimon feel really sad. It seems like they both deserve so much better.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, some people get a raw deal in life.
Perhaps. Nearly everyone who lives in the desert has some form of hardship or regret. But even so, we must still continue on with our lives.
Exactly.
It's also my reason for fighting.
Who said Grandpa was probably Nikita? She must have sued the other mad scholars as well? From the look of CYNO'S face, he probably connected the dots as well.
Maybe the people have always had a considerate god watching over them.
And he's actually gonna bring it up.
Huh? What did you say, Cyno?
No, nothing. As long as Isak keeps his word and doesn't get in our way, we can take him along.
The fact that you mentioned get in our way.
Perhaps you are more compassionate than I gave you credit for.
So, there is a Grandpa, but it's the mad scholar, not his
Hey,
actual one.
Isak!
Do we actually tell him the truth?
Oh, it's you guys!
We've cleared everything up. Let's go find your grandpa.
Really? Wow! Thank you so much!
Wow. Your grandpa will be found safe and sound. Dear God. I feel like we're lying to a child again! How many kids did we lie to their face in this game? God, I've lost count. I know the first one's child. The second one, two sir from child. And then the second one, I can't remember the name, but it was Arataki Ito, the kid. And then there must have been a third one, somewhere in between, I can't remember. Maybe from the previous story quest that we did, or one or two of them. And now it's this one! God, the game has an overarching thing of lying to little kids.
Alright. Let's ask the local residents some questions first.
Maybe you can't really ever tell the truth to children after all. Is that what this game is saying? Who knows? Dreams, emptiness, deception, Act 3 complete. Oh god. Did we actually complete Act 3 already? Before getting anything else? Oh man. Act 4. How many acts are in this, the Archon quest? 3 or 4 or 5? It's because you did most of it last time. So we're doing the last part of Act... This is the last act? 5 acts. Okay, so this is the second last act.